does say.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Well,
worry about it.
Yeah. Hi.
Lori's got it.
Hi.
oh, okay.
Hi. I have a question. You haven't talked about consent, and some of the victims are suing the owner of the Pulse Nightclub and the Pulse Nightclub, and you're building this museum in their honor, supposedly, but they haven't given consent to use their family's photos or any of these issues, and I think that's a really big issue. And the other issue that I have too is you're talking about revisionist history, and there's a lot of documents pointing to unpermitted renovations at the club. Victims had to jump over an unpermitted fence. And is that fence gonna be in the museum? Are you gonna gloss over that? These are issues that are very serious to our community. I used to go to Pulse. I have friends who, were in the club that night, and it's very hard to see what's happening here. And you see the rainbows and the runs and all these things that are happening, and it's glossing over these serious issues, and it's very horrible, and that we have to fight and struggle, and our voices are not being heard, and they should be.
Yeah, so to that end, we're trying to incorporate a little bit more of that into the museum being built, and it's a struggle because we're trying to find balance in that. So it's something we're working on. It's something that we're working on, and the answers are out there. We're just working on finding them.
Well, I wanted to ask the young man that spoke earlier, and based on what Linda said in terms of technology and the social media connecting young people, are we using technology to connect, or is it separating us even more in terms of staying within our individual bubbles? I was wondering do you have a sense of young people being more connected through social media?
Well, thank you. So in my experience, doing student activism, I've kind of not been doing it for that long, but I feel like I had felt that there was connection going on through social media. But an experience that kind of changed that line of thinking was I went to the Civil Rights Institute in Birmingham, Alabama, and witnessing the degree to which civil rights activists and student activists truly dedicated every moment of every hour to building connections and building community and doing activism. To me, that's something that just doesn't exist really within students. I've never met a student who I feel truly dedicates every minute of their day to building on their mission. And so I feel like that's an area where I aspire to create change.
Great to hear. Lori, how are we on another question?
Probably need to wrap it up.
Oh,
This one.
I think we have one more question.
I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be volunteering, but
No, go right ahead.
I work for the OnePULSE Foundation. I'm new to the foundation, and I was just curious if you would give us some ideas on some of the things how could we better connect with you and make you feel more included in what's going on? What are some of the things that we could do better?
Well, we've reached out throughout the years. We have a organization, it's a grassroots organization called CCAPM, Community Coalition Against the Pulse Museum. And we're survivors and family members and community members who have been here since the beginning. And we just have been very vocal online on social media. And, it's not against, memorialization per se. We are all for a public memorial park. The problem is when the money's involved, $150,000 the owner's making every year in her own salary. And, when you take into consideration these unpermitted renovations and all these other issues that are documented, front page of the Orlando Sentinel, I have it printed out right here. Front page of the Orlando Sentinel, Pulse fence unpermitted, So why is she making money off of this mass murder? And it's disturbing, honestly. It's very disturbing.
So we will continue the dialogue. We want everybody to be heard, but we also want to keep our we want to keep everything going. So we're going to have to kind of end this panel.
Well, thank you, Lori. Thank you. And I'm sure there will be an opportunity to continue that conversation with her all here. Well, thank you so much. You have been marvelous. very attentive, and I hope that we leave you with some inspiration.